What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. What's going on, Roy Boy? Good morning. So, hey, good morning, Mom. Um, I'm gonna give you a call a little bit later today. Um, but yeah, man. So just gonna do a little bit of an expansion on the show, kind of talk about the ins and outs. Good morning to you, Miss Debbie. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out. So it's just the best and the worst of the people from week 5. We're gonna keep doing that all the way throughout the rest of the season. Just something I kind of came up with is just a part of an expansion to the show. So we're gonna talk about it, some of the best and the worst, and definitely yes, there are some 49ers in this in what we're speaking about here. So we had so many things to be proud of and so many things to laugh at in week 5. You'd be surprised. We had 7 QBs throw for more than 300 yards, but only 5 out of the 7 came away with the win. Ritter, Burrow, Lawrence, Tua, and Hurts. So that would be the Falcons, Bengals, Jags, Dolphins, and the Eagles. We had 5 guys rush for over 100 yards last week. Every single one of them was on the winning side of their contest. Brees Hall, Zach Moss with the Colts, Achan with the Dolphins, ETN with the Jags, and Montgomery with the Lions. With Moss and ETN both having 2 TDs each. Um, so we had 12 receivers go over 100 yards this past week. Only one of them was a tight end. Moore led the way. DJ Moore led the way for the Bears with over 200 yards and 3 TDs in their win over Washington. Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Pickens from the Steelers, Brown, Ridley, Diggs, Cup, Goddard, Adam Thielen, and Davis. 5 out of those 12 took an L. 3 receivers caught 3 TD passes, and one was under 100 yards, and that was the man, George Kittle, best tight end in football. The other 2 were Jamar Chase and DJ Moore. Um, had a few teams seriously getting after the QB this past week. Sacks were booming. Now, this is because these pass rushers are good, are that good, or they're old. There were weak O lines involved. Let's take a look and see what went on. So the Bears versus Commanders produced 8 sacks total, 5 by the Bears and 3 by the Commanders. The Jags allowed 5 sacks and still won, which is amazing. Buffalo didn't give up a single sack in that loss. The Panthers had 2 sacks, the Lions got 1, but they did have 2 interceptions in that win, so not bad. 1 sack from the Titans and the Colts, respectively, but the Colts had an interception as well. The Giants allowed 6 pathetic sacks, and the Dolphins allowed 2. We all know who won that game. Tua even threw 2 picks, and they still won. So I'm going to stop right there. How does that man get? Hey, what's going on, Rick? I'm good, brother. I'm good. Just early morning Sunday. How does that dude throw 2 interceptions, get sacked twice, and y'all still lose the game? Like, that means that just tells me right there, man, that there's definitely some issues. Um, things like that. When numbers come out like that, you should be. It shouldn't be a loss. It shouldn't be a lopsided loss either. It should be easier. The Patriots allowed 2 sacks, and Matt got benched to go along with his 2 interceptions. Feel bad for Belichick. He might be out of a job soon. This was his first blowout loss of his career. He's never been donutted in his life. The Ravens had 3 sacks, while the Steelers had 4. And Lamar only threw an interception, no TDs at all. The Lambs allowed 4 sacks, and and only had 1 themselves. Jalen Hurts even threw 1 interception, 3 sacks allowed by the Bengals and the Cardinals. Also, 1 interception for Burrow and 2 for Josh Dobbs. Both the Jets and Broncos last week allowed 4 sacks. Oddly enough, Zach threw an interception, and while Russ threw 1 and and lost. What a coincidence. Minnesota had 3 sacks allowed, while the Chiefs also allowed 2 interceptions. Uh, no, the Chiefs allowed 2 sacks as well. No interceptions thrown in this game by either QB. Dak was sacked and intercepted 3 times in this game, while Purdy was wheeling and dealing, only sacked once. Green Bay allowed 2 sacks, while the Raiders allowed 3. Love threw 3 interceptions, and Jimmy threw 1. It's usually Jimmy throwing the interceptions there. These teams get after the QB, and they are Buffalo with 21 sacks, the Ravens with 18. The Steelers, Dolphins, and Chiefs are tied with 17 apiece. These teams have the ball hawks that intercept the ball, and they are the 49ers and Bills with 8 interceptions each. The Cowboys have 7, but we all know that's going to stop because Trayvon Diggs is out, so you won't see very many interceptions. Stephon Gilmore is still a formidable defensive back, but he's not the same dude he used to be. And the Bucks have 6, and the Bengals do as well. These teams force fumbles. The Steelers have 11. The Eagles have 10. The Bills and the Colts have 8. And the Texans, Titans, Vikings are all tied with 7 forced fumbles. The Chiefs and the Jags are at 100% with forced fumble and fumble recoveries. So those are just what's going on, CarCast. I don't know. I think Denzel Ward might move all over the board. And that does transition me right on into, us seeing what's going on here. We are going to talk about this game that we have today against the Cleveland Browns. And for me, the Cleveland Browns are somewhat of a good opponent. Their defense is better than their offense. I'll say that right now. With no Nick Chubb playing, no Joe Bitonio, and no Deshaun Watson, it's definitely going to be a rough go when it comes down to what they have as far as the their offense and their defense. And it's not going to be a walk in the park for the Browns. They came out, they were talking a lot and saying, yeah, I know, no Dre Greenlaw, that's going to hurt. I got to look at the final injury report. Let's see here. Browns versus 49ers. I'm going to pull that up real quick because I know there's definitely the injury report. So I pulled that up from one of our very good friends and many, many different sites we can choose from. 49ers are one of the most covered teams in the NFL. So this is from Niner Noise. Let's take a look here. And of course, they are let's see here. So I'm trying to see who everybody is. So Dre Greenlaw is questionable, and so is Elijah Mitchell. Honestly, I'll say this. I don't care much about Mitchell anymore. A lot of people may look at that and go, dang, man, why are you doing it? Let me tell you something, okay? Elijah Mitchell is done, okay? His goose is cooked. The reason being, there's a young man named Jordan Mason that basically took his spot. And I don't think Jordan Mason is going to give that back. And I don't think Kyle is going to wait on Elijah Mitchell to go get his spot back. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle is a very in-the-moment type of coach. So if you show him something in the moment, then he rolls with you. Like, if you don't believe me, in his first few years here, it was whoever was the hot running back was the guy who got fed. So if Matt Breida was a dude, he would get fed. If Raheem Mostert was a dude, he would get fed, so on and so forth. And the same in the receiving core. If BA's going off, feed him. Debo going off, feed him. Kittle going off, feed him. Like they just and that's what makes it so hard for teams when they face the Niners is you'll stop one dude, but there's another dude that gets hot while you're doing that. And then if you stop that dude too, there's still another guy that's going to get hot while you're doing that. And if you stop that dude, it's still going to be like it. It's a continual unfortunate situation, man. So it's definitely not a walk in the park there as far as that's concerned. So this one didn't really give me what I wanted. So I'm going to go back and find another injury report. I'm looking for something simple and plain that gives me an injury report. And this is just not cutting it right now. I don't know what this was. Maybe it was old. But let's see here. Where's my normal guys at? Let's see here. Um, we'll try these guys out real quick and see what we got. But basically, I mean, we are playing the Browns. It is going to be against PJ Walker. He has been said to be out. Okay, so here I go. I got a list, but I got to zoom in or something, man. This is tiny as shit. Okay, so if we're looking at practice, I'm sorry, I'm so close to the screen, but I have to look. This thing is small as hell. So Dre Greenlaw with a hamstring, um, Elijah Mitchell with the knee, and then Aaron Banks with the shoulder. Those are the guys. But honestly, no Dre Greenlaw does hurt, but hopefully, what I'm saying, that gives one of our young rookies an opportunity to step up. And to be honest with you, sorry about that. It is early morning where I'm at. To be honest with you, I think it would be this is a good opportunity for Jalen Graham or D Winters to come up and show up and show out. Because to be honest with you, I think what they're going to do is they're going to have somebody out there that's going to go sideline to sideline. So most likely you're going to see Oren Burks. He's probably going to be the guy that you're looking at that is going to step into the place of Dre Greenlaw. I probably would have liked to have D Winters or Jalen Graham in there, only because they're a little bit younger, and D Winters is ridiculously fast. So when you take a look at it for the Browns, no Deshaun Watson, no Joe Batonio, so that makes their offensive line weaker. Now we haven't been getting to the quarterback like I would like us to, but we're getting there. You know what I'm saying? Bosa's coming along very well. We just got Randy Gregory. This will be his season debut with us, so we'll see what he has to offer. I believe I heard someone saying that even in his best 2 seasons, he only had 5 sacks. So sorry, there's nothing to fall out over. This is a situation where we were smart with the deal. We gave up, meaningless draft picks. Oddly for us, they're not meaningless because we do most of our money making in the later rounds rather than anything before probably about the 4th or the 5th round. Our first, third round picks have not necessarily been the best. Don't believe me? Go and take a look back. What's going on, Roy Boy? You know, what did he say? Unrelated Irish 48 condoms 20. I don't know who the guy. I don't even know. I know it's obviously football. It's obviously college football. And he's talking about Notre Dame, but I don't know who the condoms are. So you have to explain that with Roy Boy. I know you're happy that your Irish won, but I have no idea who that is. I know you disrespected somebody, but I just don't know who. So when it comes down to this game and you look at everything, Nick Chubb unfortunately out for the year. I'm not sure with what. I think he tore his ACL, something like that, but he's out for the year. He is not playing. And the guy that's taking over for him is Jerome Ford. They do have another. They do still got. Did re-sign Kareem Hunt. They got another guy named Pierre Strong. So you'll probably see a good mix of Hunt and Ford in this game. The one thing about Hunt is he's not the same running back that he used to be when he first started out with Cleveland, but I can tell you this, the young man definitely is a formidable back, and he is not one to be trifled with when it comes down to it, because if he gets past you, he still does have that home run speed. So we've got to be very careful about containing him and not letting him get out there, because if it turns into a foot race, we're fucked. We don't have anyone on defense that's a true burner, like that keeps up with those fast guys and keeps up with the Kareem Hunts, the Tyreek Hills, the Raheem Mosterts. Um, a guy on defense who just has that elite speed to be able to slow these dudes down or at least catch them. And we don't want to, have to depend on Huff and Gip to be back there in the back trying to do all that, because sometimes these guys are really good at angles. And if they get the wrong angle on it, next thing you know, boom, we're screwed. So Kareem Hunt is definitely somebody we have to be mindful of. They're going to start PJ Walker. I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson just didn't do well enough for them to have faith that he could do anything. His last showing, he just went out and threw 3 interceptions and took 4 sacks. So I think that's why they said PJ Walker is the guy. They were a little confused on that. Their leading receiver obviously is Amari Cooper. They do have Elijah Moore. Moore is a very, very shifty little dude. He is a nuisance. Like, that dude's going to run around. Hey, what's going on, media? So these are the guys you got to be very careful about when it comes down to it. Because I'm telling you right now, man, it is definitely hardcore. Media, if you want to come through and hang out, baby, I'm gonna throw you the link into our chat on WhatsApp, man. I got you. Um, so it's definitely a rough go when you have people that will be a nuisance like that because he's very small, but he's so shifty, and that's the hard part, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to have to deal with that because that little dude is all over the damn place, and it can be very very frustrating trying to deal with him. So for me, when I look at it from the receiving standpoint, if you just look at the sheer numbers and figures, of course, you've got Amari Cooper, you've got Elijah Moore. Of course, they have one of the best tight ends in the league, and David Njoku. And Njoku hasn't really done much of anything for them. And he's averaging about 8.6 yards a catch, but he's still a formidable talent, so you got to respect him on offense. Hopefully, the defense can get home because that's what we are looking for. They do have Donovan Peoples-Jones. Peoples-Jones is he's fairly good. He's all right, but nothing too crazy. And to be honest with you, the guys that I'm naming right here, Cooper, Elijah Moore, Joku, Peoples-Jones, and Jerome Ford are the guys that we're going to have to truthfully worry about. Nobody else is really a true threat in the receiving core. So I think that we'll be able to hold them down. And I think the only person we have to worry about trying to get behind us is Peoples-Jones and Kareem Hunt. Those two dudes do have some speed to them, so we do have to be very mindful once again. Ronnie Montoya, what's going on? He said, weather is supposed to be a little ugly. How do you think Moody holds up in rough weather? I don't know. I mean, this is different because we are playing outside. We are in Cleveland. So it is a little bit different. I know that the 49ers, we got ties out there, Eddie D, the greatest owner of all time, in my opinion. Eddie De Bartolo, he lives out there. I know whenever we do have, little trips where we have to go to the other side of the U.S., we usually will wind up staying at the Greenbrier. Because we don't want to keep traveling back and forth, and it's less on the players because it makes it smarter for you to be able to contain the guys and keep them safe, when it comes down to it, because it can be a bit of a hassle when you're trying to go ahead and put everything together, and then all you have is strictly just these different things that go on when it comes to the travel, and then it's a lot on your body continually adjusting to time zones and stuff like that. So it's only smart for them to do what they need to do as far as that's concerned. So it's always good to keep that in mind. So let's see here. Once again, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and Joku, Peoples-Jones, and maybe Jerome Ford a little bit. Those would be the guys. Not taking anything away from Kareem Hunt once again, but he is the same dude. He's all right, but I don't know. But as far as how Moody will hold up, I don't know. I mean, hey, I've been calling him Money Moody all year because he has not missed nothing. He ain't missed shit. So hopefully he was up there at Michigan in Ann Arbor. So, I mean, they have inclement weather, all the time. So I'm pretty sure he's had to kick in the rain game, possibly even a snow game, variety of different different types of weather. So he should be okay. I anticipate Moody to be able to go out there, do his job, make sure that everything comes up right, and do what we need to do. So I don't think he said wind gust about 25. Yeah. I mean, as long as we're not trying to kick 50 and 60-yard field goals, we should be okay. If we keep him in, I would say 40 yards in, we should be okay. We should be fine. If he's got to kick anything over 40 yards, it's going to be a little iffy because when you have wind gusts, those wind gusts are undeterminable. You can't figure out when it's going to happen. And that's the frustrating part about it. So, you could kick that ball and it could be going straight. That gust of wind comes and but it looks like you shanked it, but you didn't. So for me, honestly, that's probably one of the things that I don't do to kicks. I'm not going to blame them when the wind is bad like that. You can't control that. You trying to kick 60-yard field goal, wind gusts come through, knock the ball way the hell over to the other side of the field. That's nothing you control. That's not your fault. And a lot of people are like, well, the kicker didn't. No. You can't defeat nature. Sorry. Don't work like that. If that's the case, nobody would die. These are just facts. Shout out Kyle Shanahan with with his oddball comments that he gives to the media when they ask him a serious question and he don't want to answer it. And motherfucker said, "I don't know if we're gonna be alive tomorrow." And I think that was in reference to the starting quarterback or something. But you know how Kyle is. He always gives you a fucking soundbite. Give me a second. Let me grab my tea. So, right back to it. I had to grab the tea. Got to wet the old whistle there. Try to get this stirred up, not make a lot of noise for y'all. But yeah, man. Ronnie Montoya says, "Yeah, I got to give Moody props. He had me worried during the season, but he has me." So yeah. Is that preseason? Everybody was worried, man, because he was not looking good. And then it was still confusing why we still had Zane Gonzalez signed. And I think Zane Gonzalez literally was an injury guarantee. He was an injury guarantee, and he was basically there. If they felt Moody needed to take a little more time, he needed to be on the bench for a bit. They didn't have confidence in him. They would have went ahead and did something. But, they showed something because it was weird. If you think about how Moody got started, if you think about it, his preseason was trash. But something in him, he showed enough to them to say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Because you can have a stellar preseason and come out and be trash in the season, and you got to remember, so hypothetically speaking, let's just talk about this. Not hypothetically, this is reality. This is a realistic situation. So think about it like this. DTR in the preseason looked fantastic, but he was playing against backups. Everybody lauding him, all that. I know DTR. I am a UCLA guy. I will tell you this, though I love DTR, and he is a UCLA dude, I knew he was going to be a project. He was at UCLA for 5 years. Whenever you're a quarterback and you stay for 5 years, that means your development was slow. So that means that your transition to the NFL is probably going to be a little bit longer than you anticipated. The Browns most likely picked DTR strictly based on the fact that they knew that they needed a quarterback similar to the guy that they have, as far as, size, athleticism, and build. Now Deshaun was a more polished quarterback coming out of Clemson. He went straight to the Texans, and of course, he threw for thousands and thousands of yards and touchdowns and whatnot. They never did much of anything. It's extremely rare when they were contenders, but you kind of got to blame Texas organization for that. That owner's a piece of shit for what he said. I don't give a fuck how anyone feels. For me, I'm very sensitive when it comes to somebody talking like that, just about anybody. So it's not even just about blacks. It's about anybody. You know what I'm saying? If he had flipped that situation around and said something about white folks, I'd be just as mad. It's or Hispanics or Asian, anybody. Like, don't down people like that, and definitely don't talk like that. Talk about the inmates are running the asylum, bruh. Now, first of all, now you're talking to the whole squad. You know that message sort of singles out black folks. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was a message to everybody because he didn't say he said the inmates are running the asylum. And what kills me about that is that's how you think of your players. That's how you think these are the people that you pay a ton of money to year in and year out. And you just called them inmates in inside. So you saying everybody on your team is insane? So for me, for the Texans, don't fuck that dude. He's a piece of shit. He will always be a piece of shit in my eyes just for being a negative, disgusting human being. And that's not cool. But when you look at everything from the offensive standpoint, they've got some firepower. The thing is, PJ Walker is their quarterback right now, people. You lost your all-pro guard in Joel Bitonio. So let me explain this. Cleveland, your offensive line better be as prepared as possible because the 49ers defense is not fucking around. We are coming for Cleveland in every which way you can think of. We will destroy you. And I'm telling you, I like the talent that you have. We all know who Amari Cooper is. We all know what he can do. Don't know how long he's really going to be there, and he's going to be able to actually do that. But I'm gonna bring in the homie, man. You know, we gonna both talk about this. This is my dog, man. It's been a minute since we done hung out. The Shaw Show is in the house, people. Formerly 49er Media, but that's this is my dog, man. He's just he. And the funny thing is, we up in the same state, man. We ain't never been able to get a chance to meet. I got to get his ass down here for this fucking Cardinal game. You got to go to the Cardinal game, bro. You got to go to the Cardinal game.
Gotta figure it
Don't
out,
look out to
man.
the side, goddamn it. Come on, media. You got to go to the Cardinal game with me, man. My ticket's already bought, though. I am not even gonna bullshit you. My ticket been bought. So, what do you think, man? What's going on with this game? How you feeling?
Uh, I think I'm a little bit nervous, but it's just, because I think the Browns definitely, you can't sleep on them. I know their offense hasn't looked all that great. They're ranked at the bottom of the league, but they have PJ Walker starting today, so I think it's definitely different. And when he's, come into play, even when he was at Carolina, like he showed some solid things, but he can move. He has that running ability. So if the 49ers can do what they did a few weeks ago to Joshua Dobbs, I think they'll be fine. And I'd love to see if their defense, last week obviously coming off an outstanding performance, so hopefully that also just break. That's the type of defense we see, because I feel like this defense struggled, but I'm also not surprised a little bit because, obviously Steve Wilkes, new DC, so he's been adding some of his own things, especially on the back end. So, take some time, but I expect the offense to, um, I think the offensive line is definitely key because the Browns have two really, really good editors. Of course, Myles Garrett, who's always a defensive player of the year candidate, and then Zadarius Smith on the opposite side. So offensive line's gonna have to definitely
Yeah,
hold
our
up.
whole line has definitely got to hold up. So I'm gonna throw this at you real quick before we get into the defense, because I started talking about the offense of the Browns. Ronnie Montoya asked, "What matchups are you looking forward to see?"
Ooh, I think Denzel Ward versus Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna be a cook session if there ever was one. Let me say this, people: Cleveland Browns been talking shit. They've been talking shit. They have been making it seem like, hey, this has all of the makings from the way they've been talking of this being a trap game. Like they are like, oh, they riding their high horse. We gonna knock them off, and this, that, and the third. Look, let me explain something, people. It is always great to have confidence in this world. Never ever let anyone tell you
Yeah,
different. You must be confident in things that you do. You know, if you're a salesman, you got to be confident in your product. You know why? Sell the way people are going to buy your shit. Because if I'm selling one thing, and if I'm selling something, and media is selling the exact same shit, if he's more confident, he sounds more convincing to me, you know who's going to get the sale? He will. Not me. I ain't getting shit. That's how that works. So it's nice to have confidence. And there's misplaced confidence. Okay? That's like me walking up to Beyonce thinking I got a shot. It's not gonna fucking happen. Okay. My name ain't Jay-Z. I'm not a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a variety of things that man has that I just do not possess, that she is very comfortable with and very happy with. Okay. Now I can tell you right now, 150%, I look better than Jay-Z. I don't give a fuck how you feel. Jay-Z is an ugly motherfucker. To me, as far as looks go, he is not an attractive human being. And I can say that without a pause. I'm from the West Coast. I don't do all that shit. Okay. You want me to say pause? Pause. Whatever. I don't care. That's East Coast stuff. But at the end of the day, sorry, I can look at another human being and judge them, male, female, whatever. And I'm telling you right now, there's Jay-Z is not the most attractive guy. Okay. When everybody knew when Blue Ivy was here, we were like, please, dear Lord, let her look like Beyonce and not like a female Jay-Z. That's not going to be a good look. And luckily, she turned out looking more like her mama. She do got some features of her dad. You can tell that's his kid. But there's just misplaced confidence. And this is one of those misplaced confidence moments for their defense. Have you heard the bullshit they've been talking about, media?
Not really, cause honestly, like I'm so busy with school and stuff, so I don't even
Oh, bro.
see a lot of the stuff
Let me
on
see. I'm gonna see if I can
Twitter
find
during
it
the week.
short because they have been going in, bro. Yeah. You know what? This is the one damn name I can't never spell. So Cleveland Browns. Let's see what they've been talking about. Yeah, because they I think who was it? Denzel Ward. Um it's just been a couple of people. They just been running their mouth. They basically have been making it seem as if we've been doing nothing. And that that we are so unfocused that we don't that we're not ready for them, and that they're
Mhm.
not scared of us. Let me explain something to you. If that's Myles Garrett or Zadarius Smith, I'm gonna respect what's coming out of your mouth. Myles Garrett, year in and year out, is a fucking nightmare off that edge.
Yep.
Zadarius Smith, very very formidable linebacker slash defensive end. So yes, those two dudes have been doing shit for years. I respect what Denzel Ward has done. He spent a lot of time on, injured. Just saying. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like it's not that their defense doesn't have formidable talent, but then again, you guys, you don't. I'm sorry. There's some people that are and some people that aren't. So like when we talk about those dudes, so if you look at it, Myles Garrett only has 10 tackles this season, but out of those 10 tackles, 5.5 are fucking sacks. That's all that matters.
Yep.
The TFLs are a part of the sack, so I'm not even going to count that, and that's fine. And I can tell you right now, as a team, all that shit talking they just did. You said BA versus Denzel Ward, right?
Mhm.
They got one fucking interception as a squad. they have one. They have one interception, and that's pretty pathetic. For all that shit y'all talking. Grant Delpit, their safety, has that one INT. Denzel Ward does have 5 passes defense. We got a guy named Martin Emerson Jr. He's got 3. You
The
know what I'm
rookie,
saying?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the rookie. Now this guy, Ogbo Oquankaro, something like that. I don't know how to say his
Are
name.
you
I
talking
know.
about the linebacker?
Hey, let me tell you something. That dude, I've been paying close attention. He's not bad. He is not bad. He has been doing all right, man. He only has 10 tackles, but he got 2.5 sacks. He's got 5 TFLs. He's looking all right. So I think, Myles Garrett, your this Ogbo guy, and then Zadarius Smith, he literally he honestly has been a non-factor. He's only got 6 tackles and he's got 1 tackle for a loss. So while you respect certain players because of what they can do, you still do want to look at the output and tell yourself who's the guy that we really got to watch. And I mean, honestly, it's just the usual suspects here. I mean, Grant Delpit is a good safety. Denzel Ward's a great DB. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we all know who Myles Garrett is. He always makes noise year in and year out. Ogbo is coming along fairly well. He does look pretty good. And Zadarius Smith. But then after that, it becomes a no-name frenzy. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
when you take a look at it, their leading tacklers are Grant Delpit and Owosu Kimura. And, that's your safety and your linebacker. Then you got right behind them, only 2 tackles behind is Anthony Walker. He's got 19. So they only have 21. So it's like when you look at this team as a total, we got 12 sacks. The majority of them coming from Ogbo and Myles Garrett. The rest of them are just a collective team effort. They've got 18 passes defense. Mainly Denzel Ward is the one contributing to that. And Martin Emerson's doing a pretty good job. And then Grant Delpit has their 1 lone interception. So excuse me if your defensive backfield doesn't really scare me that much. You have several key pieces on defense that people can name. I'm just not. I'm not worried. I'm sorry. I have a quarterback named Brock the Glock Purdy, and I'm telling you, the 9 milli is cocked and ready, and his bullets will be firing. And that Denzel Ward to BA matchup will be definitely one to watch. But I can tell you right now, I don't think Denzel Ward is locking down shit.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think because Ayuk's coming off again from that injury, right? Like it's his second week or whatever. I think he's going to be even more healthy. So I expect Brandon Ayuk to get more targets because I feel like that's what Brock Purdy's go-to targets really been. Um, I would
Mhm.
love if we see more George Kittle again. Now, I did see something where the Cowboys were like in the 60% for running cover one, and obviously the Niners torched that, and the Cleveland Browns are not now number one in that because of how much we torched that. So hopefully we can have that similar type of success. But I definitely do not expect us scoring 42 points again. I'd be very surprised if that were to happen. I think the Browns are gonna give us a little more of a game, but I still think we can score 30 um, on them. But
Yeah, honestly, that's our number. I've been calling them 30 Purdy all year long. If we score 30, you're fucked. You're going to lose. If you look at our offensive output, we have scored nothing less than 30 points per year. Per game. That's it.
yep, yep.
And we're going to continue to do that. This offense it's too hard to stop. The number one reason that it's hard to stop is the fact that you're going to have to deal with all of the guys that we have.
Mhm.
Like our team is full of names. And these aren't just names. These are people that do shit week
Yep,
in and week out. Now I know that I believe Drake Greenlaw is out for this game. Is that correct?
correct. Yep.
What do you think they're gonna put in Oren Burks, or you think they're gonna give Jalen Graham a little burn?
It seems like it's Oren Burks recording like the beat reporters of the
Okay.
Niners.
That's kind of what I thought too, but I honestly would have liked to have seen Jalen Graham out there, or maybe even D Winters. D Winters' sideline to sideline speed is unmatched, and that shit is just crazy. So I honestly think that it would be cool to get the young rook some burn. But then
Yeah.
again, I understand Oren Burks' veteranship. I mean, he had a nice interception last week, so he's impressing me. He's doing more than being a special teams guy. Now every now and then, Kyle will pick up a dude and he'll be like, I didn't think of this guy as a special teams guy. I thought of him as a starter. The same thing you said about Ray McLeod. Let me explain something to you people. Ray is nice, but he ain't that nice. Okay. Ray week in and week out as a viable receiver, I don't know.
Mhm.
I just there's not enough there for me to actually say, yeah, this is dude. No, I don't think so. But I can tell you this: it is going to be a beautiful situation for us because we are giving ourselves the opportunity to go out there and beat up on this team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, if you're a betting person, bet on this game. Bet on the Niners. We ain't lost shit.
Yep.
And we're playing the Browns without their starter.
Yeah, I mean they
Out.
also have their offensive line
Yeah.
hurt. I was gonna ask you, how do you feel about the weather? Because I know it's like a 55% chance of
I got to take a look
rain.
at it real quick. I don't know what's going on. They said it did. They said the weather Cleveland. I'm gonna take a look at it real quick and see what they're saying. So yeah,
Jason.
53 degrees. Looks like we should have. Yeah, there's definitely a probability of rain and whatnot. So I mean, it should be all right. If
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I
raining,
think we're just gonna run
I
CMC,
was
and
about
then
to say,
obviously Elijah Mitchell's back too. So
oh God, what for? It's gonna take that man 5 minutes. He gonna walk and somebody gonna look at his knee and he gonna fall over. Like, I'm sorry, man. I know people look at
I
me and they're
know.
like, dang, man, you really hard on people. Let me explain something to you, people. I get tired of people who have a whole bunch of talent who can't stay their ass on the damn field. That annoys the shit out of me more than anything. I hate that. Because everybody saw what Jalen Hurd did years ago to the Cowboys. And that man never saw the field but from the sidelines. His back was trash. He tried to retire and come back and realized, well, my back ain't finna do it. He could not even catch the plane to
Yeah.
the Super Bowl because the takeoff and landing would have been too much on his back. Because yes, when you're going up in the air, there is cabin pressure. It's gonna happen. What if you run into a rough patch and you got to go up a little higher to get past that? Same shit. Pressure.
And turbulence too.
Turbulent. Everything comes into play because the back is not nothing to play with. You don't believe me? I know firsthand. I messed up my small.
D Ford too.
Yeah,
he had back injuries.
and that worthless fuck. Thank God, just last year we have to pay his ass. He wasn't worth shit. I'm sorry. Like, and here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, well, he helped us when he did come in." Once again, all that damn talent, he can't never stay on the field. Now, what he really did, if he really wanted to do us a solid, was retire. That's what he could have done. Because then when you retire, the rules become different, the contract's a little different and everything like that. But because he wanted his money, and I don't knock you. You got to get your money how you can. Okay? But because he wanted his money, he didn't retire. And he's been sucking the life out of the 49ers fucking cap room for several years now. And I'm so glad that this is the last year we have to pay his ass to sit down on the fucking couch and do not a goddamn thing. And I'm pretty sure he's walking around living his life, happy, doing whatever the fuck he's doing. And it ain't like he rehabbing. It ain't like he went nowhere else. He didn't go to another. Nobody's signing him. We were the only team dumb enough to give him all that fucking money because he had one good year. Like this, I'm sorry. The
yeah, and he had like those issues even before we traded for him. That's why Kansas City probably was like, okay, we don't mind.
They were like, man, we're not about to give him no damn money. Why? He can barely stay on the fucking field. This is an anomaly for the fact that he did it this year. You know, because I remember when we did that, we got D Ford, we got Quan Alexander, both of them just injured consistently.
Yeah.
You know, I give Quan credit because Quan tried to come back as early as he could to be able to play to try to help us. Quan was trying to get on that field. D Ford, he knew his body was broken down. He didn't give a fuck.
Also, I liked Quan, even though, yeah, he was hurt, because the thing is, I think he did a great job of also just leading this young linebacking core when they were just like
he was the veteran you want in the locker room. That's the guy you want in the locker room because he teaches guys, you know, the intangibles, the things that you don't come into the league with, or if you do, it's extremely rare. There's never a time. It usually when rookies come in, they're just trying to adjust to the speed of the game, knowing that it moves so much faster. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A guy that I had a lot of hope for, and even though I hate USC, they always produce very, very good defensive talent. And this was years ago when we had him, Taylor Mays. I thought this guy was going to be an amazing safety, but then I noticed his flaw. Taylor Mays in college never had to wrap up because he would hit people so hard, they would just fall over. So he truthfully did not wrap up very much from the college film that I watched. He would just hit and people would fall. Get to the NFL, that ain't gonna happen. Bro, these cats out here is running serious routes and they ready to come through and they want that smoke. They want the hit because you're gonna have to hit me, wrap me up, and take me down. And Taylor Mays failed miserably at that. He lasted maybe 2-3 years. He literally was the carbon copy of a guy can get to the NFL and just not be that dude. It was very unfortunate. But you know, it's a hard sell for the Cleveland Browns to walk around with their head held high like they about to just come in and punch us in the mouth. And I think it's truthfully misplaced confidence because there's no way in hell you're gonna do that. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
Yeah, and I just think Brock Purdy, like, he is so locked in every week. You even see when they, like, post the video of him walking in, he's just so calm and collective. I don't know if you guys, if you watch, like, his video with Lindsay Polaris, but, like, he talked about his whole story and just, yeah, him being calm and collective, like, from the beginning, like, even when he was young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, look, if I can tell you that I tell people he's low-key the second coming of Tim Tebow to an extent because he is a true evangelist. This dude will praise God at every second. I'm not mad at him for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. And we're going to bring him a man, Lefty. He came through to hang out a little bit. He ain't feeling so good. How you feeling, Lefty?
Good, man. How's it going?
All right, there we go. The voice is good, so that tells me everything is okay. You feeling better?
A little bit, yeah. I'm getting there.
Good,
This
yeah,
cold is
man.
lasting way too long.
My man had a hell of a cold, boy. She was
Dude,
kicking
I
his ass.
remember I got a cold like in the summer because I was on a trip with my friends, and then like one of them got a cold, and dude, that like it lasted so long because it was just a sore throat.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Media's ass down here to come to this Cardinal game, man. When we play them here.
I'm supposed to try to come to that if I'm able to, because my buddy lives down there and he can get tickets through his work and he wants me to come down.
Nice.
I haven't been able to figure out the flights yet.
Hey, figure that shit out. If you need anything, Lefty,
I got to try to meet up with you still, though, for sure.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna fly in, let me know.
Okay.
By that time, I'll be getting off work at like 7 p.m. So if you catch anything after that or anything on the weekend, just, hey, D, this is my flight time. This is where I'll be. I live literally 5 minutes from the airport, bro. I swear to you.
Oh, okay. You're right there.
Yeah.
Okay,
so like I'm right there. So if you tell me like, yo, hey, I'm gonna be here at this time, I'm there. All right, cool. Come on outside and I'll pick you up because I already got to get Breezy from the airport too. So you know what I'm saying? I told him, but yeah, I'll be off at like 7 p.m. So if you catch anything later than that, and you're coming in, let me know. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And
sounds good, bro.
It's just, yeah, we were just talking about this game, man. How you feeling about it, bro? Because I honestly feel like this is a wash.
I think we should win, but I think it'll be interesting to just kind of how this it goes, because every time we think this is going to be a test for this offense, they just go above and beyond. Like maybe if they're going just dominant game, it's show that we're just above and beyond everybody else, just so much better offensively. I'm okay with a little bit of pass rush and a little bit of, turmoil at times, I should say, because I don't mind seeing this team have to face adversity a little bit and what they can do with it. But at the same time, if this team is just that good, they don't even need adversity because they're just going to kick everybody's ass all season. Mm-hmm. I don't like. I know Matt and Mike and Zach last night were saying that we could go 17-0 if we end up winning this game, and it's convincing. I still don't see that happening. There's just too many factors in football.
I'll tell you this,
especially because Go ahead.
You know what Lefty's approach is, everyone? The same approach that we have in the 49er locker room. One game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like that is briefly what he's sticking with the mantra of the team. One game at a time.
Yeah, and because
me, I respect that, because you just don't know what's going to happen game to game. Anybody can get beat in the NFL, people.
Any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday.
The Patriots just got their ass handed to them 34-0. Bill Belichick has never lost like that in his whole fucking career. So you have to think like and to be honest with you, really quickly, I just want to ask y'all that. Me personally, it's time to let go. Okay? You need to find the next hottest coach, figure him out, figure out how to get him there. I'm sorry. It's time for Bill to go, man.
You're probably right.
You literally, everybody said, was it Bill? Was it Brady? I'm sorry. Right now, Brady looks like the reason they were winning the fucking Super Bowls. So at the end of the day, you give Tom Brady credit for this too. I'll say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Tom Brady is the most underpaid Super Bowl winning quarterback ever. But he did it.
But he chose to do that.
So he didn't wind up having a fucked up team. He didn't want to suck up the cap space and then not have no damn players.
Yeah, he was a team player.
You can only
win.
Why
they sustained.
That's why they sustained that longevity for all those
success.
Years. Because him not taking so much money allowed the team to be able to spread it elsewhere. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. At the end of the day, when he went to Tampa Bay and he asked for a ridiculous amount of money, it's like, yo, bro, I've been lowballing myself all these motherfucking years. Give me some money. You know what I'm saying? Shit, break me off, goddammit. I got 6 Super Bowl rings. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? I'm sorry. If I had a career like that and I had 6 Super Bowl rings, I'm walking in that motherfucker. I'm walking in there cold as shit. you couldn't tell me a goddamn thing. If you look at me, I'm gonna do this. I'm sorry. Where the fuck is yours? Shut up.
Yeah, I
So
just think Bill Belichick is like he's so old and it's just back to that like old kind of day.
He's stuck in his ways,
Yeah, he's
and
not.
you can't.
There's no like new.
Yeah, you're not evolving, man. You're
Yeah,
sticking to
exactly.
exactly what you normally do, and this is not helping you. You're not winning games. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, Mac Jones is starting to get the Alex Smith treatment. You keep rotating his fucking coordinators, he ain't gonna get used to shit.
Yep.
And honestly, but then at the same time, I never thought McCorkle was any good any fucking way. There are some players that are just that truthfully are legitimately benefiting from the people around them. You know, now people will now a lot of people say that about Brock Purdy. You know, well, look where he's at, and he's got this great play caller, this, that, and all this other shit. Let me explain something to you people. Brock Purdy isn't benefiting from the people around him or the system. He's just playing damn good football, and you have to accept it. I'm sorry. I told people 2 weeks ago, I just fuck you. Oh, well, we got to worry about if he can throw deep. That doesn't seem to be an issue.
He's done it like the last
Seems to be
literally every
okay.
week. Yeah.
Last time I checked, he seems to be all right, you know. But I did cut you off, media. Go ahead, finish your thing about Bill Belichick, and we'll kick it to lefty on that. Because it just, I don't know. I just feel like he's just old and like he's stuck in his ways. And then at the same time, you gotta like decipher what the fuck he says at the goddamn press conference. Anyway, he's always fucking mumbling. You know, hey Bill, how was your day? What the fuck are you, bro? Speak, use your words. You've learned this shit since you were like fucking 4. God damn it. Tell us what the fuck is on your mind. You know, mumbling and looking fucking disgusted every year. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, no, but yeah, all I wanted to say is, I think Bill Belichick is with his old ways and it's just not evolving. And look at the team too; like it's just defensive heavy. That's the one thing about the Patriots, though, is I feel like they always have an underrated defense, but it's like their offense they're not even investing in receivers. They got all receivers who are like good number 3 receiver too. So I don't know. Yeah, Mac Jones is just awful too.
Well, the funny thing is Kendrick Bourne is there. That motherfucker's all but disappeared.
Yeah.
They gave Kendrick Bourne a 3-year deal, hoping that he would come in and at least be a possible 1, maybe even a viable 2. That motherfucker don't even see the field. So it's just confusing to me. Now tell me, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. Smack, what the fuck? Tommy B, he be saying some off the wall shit, man. But how do you feel about this Belichick situation, Lefty? You feel like he should stay? He should go?
I think he's gonna stay, but I think he's probably stuck in his old ways, and the NFL's changed, and all these older guys you're starting to see that doesn't work. McCarthy, his old ways of offense doesn't work. Sean Payton, old school ways of offense doesn't work.
Is it Sean Payton or Russell Wilson though? Like,
no, it's Sean Payton too, because the way
I
he's
think
calling the
Sean.
offense. He's calling the offense in an old school way that's not like defenses are set up to dominate those old school style offenses. Like, I'm sorry, but the Chiefs defense isn't that good where the Broncos should only score 8 points. But
and what is it, 17 games? They done lost to these motherfuckers? 16, 17 games straight. Like,
it's just
bro, I think shout out Dave McNiner. I think he said we in the 90s, I think we beat the Rams 17 times. 16, 17 times
like,
too, right?
You guys think about it, the only old school coach that's actually changed to the new style is Andy Reid, and that's won him 2 Super Bowls. All these older coaches don't want to change this. They're still trying to run the old school style of the West Coast offense, and it doesn't. It's the West Coast offense is still great, but it's adapted to a new style, to more of the Shanahan style, like Shanahan and Andy Reid style. So if you're staying in the old ways, it's easy to beat because these defenses are preparing to stop the new style, which is a lot harder and a lot more difficult. So you give them this simplified version, it's easy to stop. And then I think with Bill, he's just stuck in his old ways, and he's done this to himself. Like everybody's like, I kind of feel bad for Mac Jones because everybody hates on him and he's like so terrible. He's not that bad of a quarterback, dude. How anybody would struggle in his situation? He went from having, McDaniels, who never should have left because he's a terrible head coach. Then Bill's such a dumb fuck. He puts fucking a special teams coordinator and a freaking defensive coordinator as Mac Jones' offensive coordinator. Like, oh yeah, you're fucking over Mac Jones there. And then you get Bill O'Brien, who's old school, just going back to the old school style of offense. They're not doing anything to help anything. Their offense isn't dynamic. It's almost like it when you see it that way and you think of it that way, it actually makes more sense to what Dan, what's his last name?
Dan Campbell.
Dan Orlovsky was saying when you put Mac Jones in the Niners offense, he would be better. No, he's not going to do what Purdy's doing because he's not Purdy, but he wouldn't look as ass as he is with the Patriots. Because why? Because Mac Jones would do well with all those motions and the play action. And dude, Dak Prescott would be an MVP in the 49ers offense because it's all play action. Because when he first came into the league, they were 90% play action, and he dominated the league on play action. He was the best play action quarterback as a rookie. Like some of these quarterbacks that are struggling is because these offenses are horrendous. Like Dak Prescott is playing in an absolutely disgustingly horrendous offense. Like absolutely, that offense is trash, dude. That offense is so bad. Then Mac Jones offense terrible. Three different offensive coordinators in his first 3 years. Like that's hard on any quarterback. And then
and I give him and that's Bill, what I was saying. Like right before you came in, he's low key getting Alex Smith treatment. When you run through
exactly.
When you run through that many coordinators in such a short, I think Alex had 6 in his first 6 years in the league. So nobody out there can tell me that Alex Smith was wrong or he was.
If I'm the Patriots and I want to keep Mac Jones, I fire Bill Belichick and I bring in Jim Harbaugh. That he'll fix Mac Jones real quick.
Ooh, you know what? Harbaugh does believe in his quarterbacks. He got the best out of Colin Kaepernick. He got the
best out of Alex Smith. He turned Alex Smith into the player he always was.
Alex Smith too, and that's the whole
turned
point
Alex
of
Smith. He turned Alex Smith into the player he always should have been when the Niners drafted him.
He got Alex Smith paid pretty much.
Alex Smith is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the history of the football.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't turn the ball over and is extremely efficient, man. Efficient. That's what Brock Purdy's like. Alex Smith light, because he doesn't have that strong the arm Alex had, and he doesn't have the elite speed and athleticism that Alex Smith had, but the processing and the not turning the ball over and finding the open receiver. That's Alex Smith, dude. That's Alex Smith. Like that's the thing is Alex Smith was the best quarterback. Alex Smith was the best quarterback we've had since Steve Young. He just we only got a small sample size of his ability because he was in such a terrible organization. The organization was awful when he first came to the league. When we first drafted him. Everybody says like we would have taken Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would have been in the same boat.
Yeah,
so
if you're
Aaron Rodgers is still.
I've said it all the time when it comes to Alex Smith and his situation. I don't care who it is. If you continually make somebody learn a new system every fucking year, they're gonna fail because they're not gonna be able to keep latching on the new systems to just work. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Lamar Jackson, any of these guys, if you did that to any of these great players, Warren Moon, I don't care who it is, Dan Marino, fucking Joe Montana, if you continually rotate their shit year in and year out, back and forth, okay, we're gonna run it this way. No, we're gonna run it that way. Then I've got
because they're not gonna be able to get it. Like
they can't. It's not gonna click.
Yeah,
this is what makes Kyle Shanahan so valuable and important to the 49ers. I know Dion, but think about it this way. Any quarterback we have that's somewhat good benefits more than most teams because Kyle Shanahan's he's the head coach, but what is he also? The offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator.
So what does that mean? It What the quarterback never has to worry about changing of offensive coordinator, because as long as the head coach is there, that offense stays the same no matter what. Like, that is extremely beneficial. In my opinion, when your team is struggling in the NFL, you should never hire a defensive coach.
Yeah,
Unless
you
you
need
get
your
like
offense to get on
unless
track.
you're like the Texans, and get a dog in Stroud, because
Mhm.
they obviously hired D'Amico starting all the way over. So that could kind of hurt my argument. But I still think when you're starting over, you need an offensive coach that's going to that's going to run an offense. Like, that's why McVay and Goff were good, because Goff had the same offense when
Yeah,
McVay was there.
and it works.
Right?
Yeah, and while he was at
You know what I
Cal, he
mean?
was doing good things. Yeah.
I think, and then like, look at Mahomes. He went to a head coach who's pretty much the offensive coordinator, who's a fucking mastermind. He benefited
Mhm.
from that. If you gave Mahomes a different offense every single year, he would be ass,
Yep.
because
Any
obviously
QB in
he's
that
struggling.
situation is
He's
going to
struggling
fail.
this year from losing. He's struggling
Yeah.
this year from losing the offensive coordinator he did have.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing.
Bieniemy leaving has hurt that offense. Like, nobody's going to say it
Mhm.
because it's Patrick Mahomes, but he's been shit this year. They're winning
And I'll tell
because
you
they're
this,
playing fucking trash
they're
teams,
not
but he looks
blowing.
like ass.
Yeah,
He
I was
looks
gonna say
terrible.
they're not overly blowing teams out.
Mm-hmm.
They
Like,
got
when you
Travis
look
Kelce and Taylor Swift to divert the attention that Mahomes looks like
Exactly.
shit this year.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
His
And see,
his
here's the thing
stats were the
about that.
same as Russell Wilson.
Yeah, here's the thing about that. That's the number one thing that nobody will say. Why? He's the face of the NFL. He's the face of Oakley glasses,
it's-
along with Lamar
it's the-
Jackson and shit like that. And then now you have Taylor Swift there, as if anyone gives two fucks. Let me explain something to you people. Everybody out there, the reason that these sales have went up is because idiots are buying jerseys. And let me explain something to you. I don't
you're
mean
not
they're
wrong.
idiots in life. They're idiots about football. 90% of the reason that those sales went up is because Taylor Swift fans are buying Travis Kelce's jersey. That's it. They know nothing about football. They didn't even know the Kansas City Chiefs fucking existed before this broad came along. Okay? And at the end of the day, all they're sitting there doing is watching football on Sundays with a Travis Kelce jersey going on. Did Kelce catch the ball? Oh my God, throw it to Kelce. Oh my God, Taylor's going to be so mad because he had a bad game. Like, this is what the fuck they don't know.
Well,
They know
to be
nothing
fair,
of football.
Travis Kelce's their only weapon in the past.
And he is their only weapon. Okay, so you have Isaiah Pacheco. Ain't heard much about him.
Like,
most of the receivers for Kansas City have been dropping the ball.
Dude,
Yeah.
literally. Kelce missed week 1. What did the Chiefs do? They lost. Exactly. So
it's like,
but I think the whole I was going to go back to the whole, like, Mahomes is not playing well, but everybody just doesn't. They just avoid.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, they're going to gloss over
that conversation.
They're not.
It's like I can't think of the word, but it's like people get in this mindset and then they're blinded by, like, what they've always known about football.
In my opinion, not what he's doing now.
In my opinion, it's the same thing we're seeing with USC and Caleb Williams. It's like that Mahomes effect where everybody's like, oh, this guy just leaves the pocket and makes these crazy plays on the run like Mahomes. So they think, oh, well, this guy's the best. Dude, people saying that he's a better prospect than Joe Burrow coming out of college is the most mind-boggling, asinine comment I think that's ever been made in college football in the history of the sport. Joe Burrow literally had the greatest college football season a quarterback's ever had in history. And they're, dude, sorry, it's ridiculous. Like, the whole Mahomes thing is what's causing this, like, hoopla for Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams is mentally weak. He's not as good staying in the pocket. He gets fucking happy feet and leaves the pocket early, and then makes backyard football plays. He's like a mix of Mahomes and Russell Wilson. He's Russell Wilson and Mahomes having a baby. That's Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Like, he might be able to make it in this league, but he's not going to be this great prospect. He's not going to be better than Joe Burrow.
but you got to remember, there's always got to be a guy they hype up every year.
Exactly, and they always
that's the
have to
thing,
like be like, oh,
is
he's gonna be. Could he be the
you
next
guys understand,
whatever
too-
of the top guy?
You guys understand? They say that he's a better prospect than Burrow. Burrow is the best quarterback in this league when healthy. He's the most cerebral quarterback. He's the younger people that are just getting in the NFL's version of Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning to us is what Joe Burrow is to them. The cerebralness and fucking healthy, dude. Like if you healthy and if you gave him a line, they would be impossible to beat. That's how good Joe Burrow is.
So
the only reason they've been bad is because he's injured.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask
or he doesn't have an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he carried a team with no offensive line all the way to the Super Bowl, and was like
Very
a couple
true.
plays from
Yeah,
winning it.
He was getting sacked like nobody's fucking business too.
And they almost won because he's that fucking good.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is not anywhere near that level.
Yeah.
But that's the Mahomes effect.
Yeah, I'll ask this question. Media, what do you think? Who's the X factor on offense and defense for the Cleveland Browns?
Ooh. Probably Amari Cooper on offense. Defense,
You can go with the obvious because that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with Myles Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you got corners. The corners for.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, where I was like saying the matchup of Ayuk and Ward.
Denzel Ward, yeah.
Well, Cleveland has.
I think Denzel Ward about to get baked like some fucking cookies. You know,
he's about to get the Patrick Peterson treatment.
But the Browns have some of the best corners in the league.
They do.
It's why their defense is so good. It's why they get so
let me tell you this. Let me give you a stat here, Lefty. They got the best corners in the league. These motherfuckers have one interception. They have
but that's because they're getting but that's because they're getting sacks. That's because they're getting pressures on the quarterback. They're getting sacks.
Bro, the only people that have sacks are Ogbo, and I'm not gonna say their last name, and Myles Garrett. Everybody else
doesn't matter. They're still getting them.
Sacks.
But the guys that matter are getting them. So look at it this way: we have more interceptions, right? But we have less sacks. Why? Because the ball's getting out early.
Well, yeah, because they know if they hold
but if you add another corner to this defense, which I still expect the Niners to do before the trade deadline, I fully expect our freaking DB GM to go find another DB for this team. And you'll see the difference. The sacks will come when we get another shutdown DB. We get a DB that can play man and shut down and bump and run more. And these quarterbacks have to hold on to the ball longer and can't get rid of the ball quick. The sacks are going to come in droves. You can have it's crazy. You think about it, you can have the best defensive line, but if you don't have decent corners, they're never going to get to the quarterback.
Well, yeah, because the ball is just going to come out, and that's always going to be that case. But
I'm worried. So that's what I'm saying. I'm worried about Cleveland's corners because if they can cover well, then they're going to have chances to get sacks. So
okay, so
it really depends on how well.
On offense, who you worried about?
Nobody. Amari can't play against this defense. He is too fucking soft, dude. The physicalness from our defense, and then because Njoku, I don't know if he's even going to play. They said he might not with his burns. Otherwise, I may pick him because he's awesome. He's one of my favorite tight ends. He's awesome. But.
And I don't think he's gonna be able to play. I think he had like 3rd-degree burns or something.
I'm not worried about anybody running on us, bro. So that's why Kareem Hunt, I don't care. PJ Walker, not scared. Now, if Deshaun Watson was healthy, then I'd be like, okay, I'd pick Deshaun.
Okay.
He's not. I'm not scared of their offense. It's probably will be a low-scoring game anyways, because
the weather's gonna be bad.
It's just and it's gonna be physical, right? It's gonna be physical. The Cleveland has a kick-ass defense. It's physical too. Like it's a good matchup.
That's what they have as defense. They don't necessarily have the greatest offense. I mean, Peoples-Jones, you got to respect to an extent. Amari Cooper, somewhat. The only thing I was saying about Kareem Hunt was the fact that you do have to be mindful. He still does have speed. So if he gets past our second level, he's gone. There is no catching Kareem fucking Hunt. He's too damn fast, and we don't have people to keep up with him. That's one thing that we are lacking in our secondary is speed. Because our linebacker
just at the safety level.
Yeah, well, no, what are you talking about? That's at the DB level too. Ain't nobody keeping up with nobody. Mooney and Demo get burned by any of the faster receivers.
Most
your
corners
Brandon
are going to get
Tyreek Hills. They're going to get
corners
killed.
are going to get cooked. Hey, most corners are going to get cooked by top speed though.
But no, not necessarily. There's some corners that are good enough and are fast enough to keep up with these guys. It's extremely rare.
Is anybody is anybody covering one-on-one? Are they covering Tyreek Hill? No, they're not. Nobody in this league.
Yeah.
No one-on-one. The only way you can cover Tyreek Hill is by bracketing him with a safety.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a smart thing to do.
I'm just saying, but I don't think any corner can go. It's too hard, even the fastest corners, because you got to remember you're backpedaling, shifting hips, then starting from zero.
Well, the number one thing
is already almost hitting full speed by the time you turn your hips. So.
I was gonna say Tyreek, his get off is flat out disgusting.
It's just any of the fast receivers, dude. It's hard to cover Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis when he starts going.
God, Gabe Davis has the size and length, like his arms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like once these guys get going, it's hard to play corner, and because we don't have a Deion Sanders speed corner with that kind of speed anymore. You haven't seen that. Deion's the only guy that can turn his hips and catch right back up. You know what I mean? That you don't see that. Like, maybe Sauce Gardner's possibly at that level, but at the same time, it's hard to cover these guys with that much speed. So
yeah. All right, so you got on that Fred Warner jersey over there, media. So I'm safely assuming that's your defensive guy for us.
I was gonna say somebody else because Mr. Dre Greenlaw's out, and I was gonna say Oren Burks. I think an X factor on defense.
Okay. What about offense?
I know you may not like this one because when I said that he's back, you were real mad, but I'm going Elijah Mitchell.
I'm sorry. I just don't feel like he's going to be a fucking factor. This dude is just – I'm sorry.
I get where you're going.
The consistency of the injuries hurt is what
I totally get you because best availability is availability, and he ain't available most of the time.
And there it is. And to me, to be honest with you, I do think our run game is the X factor on offense. I think that we run it down their throats. Hopefully, you still see Jordan Mason because I can tell you right now, I don't expect Elijah Mitchell to last very fucking long. I know. The only reason Mitchell will get any burn is because he's one of Kyle's guys. And we all know how Kyle is. When he has his favorites, he will put them on the field no matter what.
But a healthy Mitchell, a dog.
A healthy Mitchell ain't shit.
5 to 7 yards.
You know why a healthy Mitchell ain't shit? Because he ain't never fucking healthy. So that's why.
Imagine we go into the playoffs with a healthy Mitchell, though. That's 5-7 yards at carry.
Yeah, what we're going to be doing, Lefty? Imagining that. Because it's not going to happen.
But I love Jordan Mason, guys.
Physicalness. Elijah Mitchell at 100% healthy was averaging over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah,
close to 7, like 6.7.
Yeah, almost 7. Yeah, so it's nice. You just don't ever see it. So I can't have faith in a dude that don't ever bring his ass to the fucking field and is able to stay.
But that's
so offensively.
This is why,
I have to say, I'm going to say our run game defensively for me. To be honest with you, it's going to be on. I'm not even putting it on our D line. I'm going to put it on those linebackers, Oren Burks and Fred Warner. Show the fuck up. Show us what you got.
I thought you were about to say Isaiah Oliver for some.
No, fuck nah. No, I'm sorry. Look, Oliver's flash.
Oliver plays with a lot of heart. Moments. No, that guy
has
plays
moments,
so
but then there are times where he just does dumb shit like that. Turpin should have never caught that fucking touchdown.
Yeah.
He should.
Dude, come on. He got burnt by a guy with a crazy amount of speed. Come on.
I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, but then listen to me.
I don't think even he
was
should
a
have
bad
been
defensive call. That was a bad defensive call, and we got burnt on a play.
This is my thought process. Inside of 20 yards, inside of 22, if they are in the red zone, you should be able to man the fuck up no matter what.
They weren't in the red zone, Deion. They were behind 30.
Oh, well, I mean, hey.
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
it was just lucky.
At the end of the day, man, it for me, I see him make plays and then I see him not make plays. So
that's why
you have to understand. I don't have a lot of faith.
it's rare to have a corner that's willing to come up and make a big tackle the way that Oliver does. Most corners don't
He
tackle like
does.
that.
That's why I said he's got I gave him credit. He's
He
got
plays.
moments. I'm just,
He
I don't
he
have a lot
plays
of faith in
big.
him.
Oliver plays big, especially in the run game, in the short game. He's beneficial, especially in the short game, because he plays big. He plays with a lot of heart, and he comes and smacks guys in the mouth. He's our most physical corner. He's our most physical corner. Think about that.
That's all well and good, but it's got to be more consistent for me to be able to give you some credit.
I mean, yeah, he's our nickel guy.
I need you to be a little more consistent, because I can tell you right now, I ain't had these feelings about the Shark. K1 was on the field. I never worried. It make a difference to me. That motherfucker was a cold nickel corner.
Yeah, but he was a ball hawk.
Yeah, and that's what that. But see, that's my kind of DB. I don't like honestly, these last couple of years that we've had with this fucking zone scheme has been driving me absolutely insane.
We're gonna watch. We're gonna trade. We're gonna trade the Bears for Jalen Johnson, and you're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, dude, this guy could bump and run."
I don't know about him.
He's from Utah, right?
He played at Utah, and he's been quietly the best. Hold on.
What a coincidence! Lefty's talking about a Utah guy.
I know, but it's only because he's the one corner that's actually available that can play. Like, he's quietly been probably one of, if not the best defensive player on the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're terrible, so he doesn't look. It doesn't look like he's good, but he's good. And he can play man on an island by himself.
Okay.
That's the kind of corner you bring, and then that's when the sacks come. Telling you. And he has no problem being physical, because nobody that comes from Utah is afraid to be physical. That is
nobody.
Every single defensive player that comes from Utah is physical.
Man, fuck Utah.
I'm telling you, you know damn well. Why did the Utah beat UCLA this year? Physicality scared the shit out of them.
By one touchdown, that ain't much.
Oh, that's because our offense. We had no offense.
Y'all won the game,
dude.
Good.
We dominated your offense the whole time.
You ain't dominating.
You guys got one.
Speaking of college football, the Arizona Wildcats destroyed Washington State 44-6 yesterday.
It was Washington State, bro. That's not a statement win. It was Washington fucking State.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Bro.
Yeah, it is. Washington State's really good.
Yeah, they're like
it's a big win for.
If it ain't UCLA, it ain't shit. Period.
Hey, Dion, that's Arizona.
UCLA though. Okay,
Dion, that's Arizona's best win in like 5 years. So let them have it. I'm being serious.
Oh my god, bro. Hey man, look,
it's like the best win in like almost 5 years.
We should have beaten USC last week.
Hey, look, man. Look, there's a lot of times a lot of people should have beat fucking USC too, man. I hate that shit. Like I said, they produce tons of NFL talent, but it will always be fuck USC.
Dude,
facts.
Caleb Williams is counting his blessings that Rising's out this year, because that's his daddy. Cam Rising beat his ass
like Daniel Brunskill was AD's daddy.
Cam Rising beat his ass fucking in the regular season, and then beat him in the Pac-12 championship and killed their playoff hopes twice.
Didn't Caleb Williams have like
season.
3 picks yesterday or something too?
Yes, he did. And they were terrible. Why are you even throwing the ball to no? Dude, it was bad.
Those were obvious. Like, bro, you're not supposed to go there.
He shouldn't have even been throwing the ball. Like, dude, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but a prospect that's better than T-Law and better than Burrow doesn't make those throws.
And Patrick Mahomes too. Like,
yeah. Well, look, man, we finna end it there. Shit, I think the game gonna get started here. Probably.
Let me say my guys for.
But go ahead, give us your guys, and we gonna get up out of here, man.
Yeah, and I don't mean to fucking do this to steal this from Mike from last night, but I kind of agree with him. I'm gonna go Mason.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a physical game, and his physicality. Kyle's got to give him the ball today, because this game's going to be physical, and that guy always falls forward for an extra 2 yards.
Every time he ran last week, he cracked someone. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, and he always falls forward
every time he goes into a pile.
He falls forward for a yard or another yard or two. He's never falling backward. He's always falling forward for an extra yard or two. He's a monster, dude. I want to see him in a physical game like this. he's what's going to be the difference maker. I love McCaffrey, but he's got to see the ball. He's got to get some carries today.
Thank you.
And
Because McCaffrey only averaged 2.7 yards last week, people.
Yep.
He got the touchdown was the one thing that I despise.
No, but we used him in the pass game,
luck.
so
the touchdown was luck. Good. You know why? Because of the way he got tackled. He rolled right on over him.
But in the pass game, he was good. So that it doesn't.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like as a rusher, 2.7 is not good. So
I don't really care though.
And Mason was.
When they shut him down, when they shut him down, Mason picked it right up. His touchdown run was a thing of beauty, and I love physical that shit. He knew
physical running back, dude, and he runs.
Oh my god, when he cut, bro, and the thing is, when people, this is why we as 49er fans and any of us as content creators always say, when you're up the gut and you're in the middle, that's the guy to go to. Don't do that with CMC. Let him do the outside shit. Let him be your receiver. I don't care. But up the gut, that needs to be Jordan Mason every fucking time. You know why? Because if that hole is open, Mason's got some speed. I think he's actually faster than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's a monster, dude. I really want to see him get some touches. I think he could be the difference in this game because of the physicality. And then for my defense, I'm going to go Lenoir. I look for him to punk to punk Amari Cooper, his soft ass dude. He was punking Michael Gallup against the Cowboys. He's gonna punk Cooper's soft
Gallup
ass.
Was a non-factor. He didn't even exist.
Dude, I love how Lenoir's talking, but he's been backing it up.
He's been physical, dude.
And that's the thing. You can't talk and not walk the walk. You gotta do both. Exactly. You can't be one or the other. You gotta remember,
Wilkes is a cornerbacks coach, so he's made our cornerbacks more physical. He's made him, more confident. I think Lenoir's going to freaking have a game today.
Okay.
Two picks.
Ooh.
Against Amari Cooper. Against him. He's going to punk Amari Cooper. Watch.
Okay. So he's saying Amari Cooper. He basically what Lefty is saying. Amari Cooper, you a bitch.
Oh, he's a bitch.
Buster. You definitely.
Remember when he took himself out of the game because he was getting punked? Remember? Who was it? He took himself out of the game because he was getting punked.
Hey man, y'all remember the longest yard with Adam Sadler with Terry Crews like baby back bitch, and he's that's what he'd have called him, man. But
also, Theodore Lenoir is gonna get the pick because Fred Warner is gonna let him have a pick.
Well, we're starting to see that he's Alabama. Some of these Alabama receivers are just made soft. Look at Judy.
Oh, bro. Yeah, he got destroyed by Steve Smith.
He let one of the toughest. He let the toughest receiver, probably the toughest receiver to ever play this game. One of the toughest, most smash mouth receivers. And let him break him instead of be like, you know what, I'm gonna come out here and be a dog because.
Yeah, bro.
You take that and you turn around and you and then you show out, dude. Like.
Let me tell you this. You take that and you're supposed to make it fuel for the fire, but Steve Smith is not a fucking joke. It's not a game.
As soon as he disrespected Steve, it was done.
Yeah, because when he comes for you, he comes for you. And Steve Smith is one of the craftiest receivers. And he has a right to talk because his career was stellar. He wasn't fucking around. Steve Smith was no joke.
Last year I got a picture with him when he was out down here at the Utes game. Yeah. He's freaking, even though he's shorter than me, he's fucking built like a tank, dude.
Oh, yeah. Steve Smith ain't no joke, man.
Built like a freaking tank, dude, for a smaller guy.
Yeah. Shout out CJ Gray. He was in here. He was just doing it. Let's see here. He says he hate how Williams hyped beyond where he needed to be. So he watched May last night, and he's good, but still maybe overhyped. I don't know who that is. Dude, I don't watch college football enough to pay enough attention.
There was a freaking before the game scrum right now between the Browns and Niners. I think the Browns are trying to show.
Brandon put that in the chat. Yeah,
they're trying to show that they're tough. I think they're like, dude, this team is.
And I think
they're trying to get some kind of mental thing because they're scared.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because you're kicking yourself in your ass. Because when you piss us off, we still know how to play well within our scheme.
They already gave us bulletin board material with the way they were talking.
Oh man, they please, man. Anybody, I'm sorry, bro. Like it at the end of the day, man, it's the Browns. And
They lost to the
and
fucking. They got.
it's no disrespect to the city of Cleveland, but I'm sorry. The Browns
Didn't
and
they get?
Indians have been
They got
trash for
mollywopped.
years.
They got mollywopped by the Steelers, 23-6. So
That's what I'm saying. Like they're nobody to be worried about. But hey, we're gonna get up out of here. Everybody have a great Sunday. Relax. Drink a
Enjoy the
beer.
game.
let's go Niners.
Watch the football. And let's go Niners, man. Let's go ahead and kick these Browns' teeth in. They dogs, so let's go out there and dog walk their ass. That's what we need to do.
Hell yeah,
We're
let's
gonna
do it.
better get those brownies baking.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. Everybody have a good day. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.